Welcome back, ladies and gents. Just past this here, which I don't think we've ever been for before, but right outside it is a corpse with a weapon. I don't know what that weapon is. I haven't a clue. And why is it there? I didn't kill this person. So, lots of logs out. There's been some chopping going on. And that dude... Or is it a lady? It's just a cattleman revolver. So it's not very good. Letter from Annette to Claudia. Letter to Annette from Claude. Annette, I did not want to write this letter. I thought I had been clear at the stable, and clear again when you waited for me outside the General. Harriet was still inside. She could have seen you. It's a miracle she did not. Now, I know I made promises to you, and I know the time we had was good, but Harriet is my wife, and if she's willing to give me another chance, I need to give her and myself that opportunity. I cannot know you any longer. Please stop looking for me in town. Please stop leaving me packages at the post office. Please, for the love of God, please do not approach Harriet. I do care about you, but I cannot have you in my life anymore. Leave me and my family alone. Oh, Claude. Little did he know that she would kill herself. Well, let's have a look in your house, Annette. So she was some kind of tobacco, small holding tobacco farmer. I wonder if we can get inside. It's all shuttered up. Can't see anything. Whoa! That's Claude, and that's Harriet, and Annette was outside and she killed herself. That's tragic. That is unbelievably tragic. But there is a cigarette card. Who's that? That was Lawrence Dunn, Stars of the Stage. Goodness me. Well, Claude's letter made her furious. And he absolutely shot them up. And there was some kind of fracas going on. There's lots of blood. So they're all wandering around, staggering around, bleeding. Maybe there was a shootout. It's tough to say. What the most likely thing is that Annette, enraged by being jilted by Claude, went and killed them both. Goodness me. Yeah, so I was just going down to Rhodes to buy some hair tonic. And I saw that gun on the map, and the gun's not particularly special. But the situation is, for sure. Right, I've got to close the sink because we can't get past that cupboard, apparently. Goodness me. Let's get this out again. Just trying to see what else there might be available to us to look for. Well, we can have all the canned fruit and vegetables. Millions of peaches. Peaches for me. Canned fruit. Well, waste not, want not. Canned meat. Is this one available to look through? Close that cabinet. No is the answer. Something over there. What's that? That is jewellery. Gold jointed bracelet. Well, it's getting light outside. Well, Claude, keep that in your pants in future. That's the lesson. Poor old Harriet. But what's harrowing is, do you think that's just general rot? Look at her shins. It's down to the bone. She may have just used a machete and hacked them to bits. Let's go and see in the daylight what's around a net. If we can. So she's got her gun there. Yes, look. Machete. Machete. No, I didn't want to do that. I'm just wondering if we can pick up that machete. Yeah, she went rampaging in there with a bloody blade. And then, obviously, it was too much for her. So she topped herself. Another one of those tragic stories. Crazy. Okay. Well, let's continue on down to Rhodes and pick up that hair tonic then. As a depressing start to the episode. So a bit of hair tonic. Let's just, so we can take that and just see if our maximum beard is maximum. Because before things kick off, I want to get a beautiful styled moustache going on. That would be nice. Into Rhodes we come, formerly owned and ran by the Greys, now under new management, because the Greys are all dead, because we did them in. Right, general store is here? Where is the general store? Right here.
Well, been a while since you were last here. Take a look. Any questions, feel free not to ask. Okay, take a browse.
Here we go. Hair tonic.
Sold.
Got what I need.
How's your friend getting on with those new clothes? Not something a lady should be wearing, in my opinion, but each to their own, I suppose.
I'd be very surprised if you had a lady, my friend.
Well, not right now, but I've had my share. Anyway.
He was ragging on Sadie then.
Fancy doing some shopping, come on back.
Right, while we're here, opportune moments, let's get the latest edition of the newspaper, because that's always got some awesome stuff in there. So we haven't got that version.
Well, I shouldn't say.
Number 48.
Poor Louise caught her
So we'll read that later,
house doing something.
See ya.
during an idle moment. Okay, what we're going to do is this bounty.
I'm running out, Rhodes. Get him right here.
Apparently we're going to pick it up, rather than picking it up at the sheriff's office.
Need a driver, sir?
Got to pick it up here.
God almighty! Sir, good morning.
Robbie Ledlow.
Sizing that
Lead
one
law.
up then, are you?
35.
It's a decent bounty.
For arrest or detention and presentation to an officer, last seen in the southern region of Scarlet Meadows. The above sketches good likeness of Laidlaw, who is blind in his left eye, is thought to be 5'9", right to poor hand and has very little education, wanting for theft and fraud, suspected of assault on a deputy, wire all communications to the Rhodes sheriff. There we go.
Well, I heard that Laidlaw's being put up near Catfish Jackson's. He's a piece of work, but he's still got friends.
Well, off we go down to Catfish Jackson's. If we remember, I was lamenting the fact that Catfish Jackson, which is all the way down here, had about 5 or 6 uses. Well, it had 2 to be fair, but now it's going for a 3rd. He's not actually in there, so that's good. He's around this area. Okay, so we'll head on down there. But yeah, so there's a fair few bounties for various sheriff's office on this map, and we've done quite a few in this playthrough. There's not hundreds, but all the ones we have done, I felt were very satisfying. They all had sort of a tale to tell surrounding it. The last one we had was a guy who knew he needed to... knew the law were onto him, but he was sort of saying goodbye to his family. And then his parting shot was a whisper to his son to rally his buddies to try and get him out of this.
Who the hell did you rob for all this? Hey, you ask no questions, I tell no lies. That's all yours once you hand me the money. Wagon 2.
Fine. Here it is. What we agreed on.
Good man. Well, keep on doing what you do best. You need more? Just come along back. Take care, fellas.
The North will remember us soon enough.
The White Raiders. Any more? Take your kneecaps out. Oh, didn't work.
Don't need more guns in the hands of those fools.
Return the wagon to the fence for a reward. Well, it's $40. But that's going to kind of take us out of our way, is it? Yeah, we've got to take it all the way up here. No, all the way up to Emerald Ranch. That's the carriage fence. I'm not interested. It's not worth my $40, but I would like all that dynamite. Well, I've got 2 dynamites in that case, which is pretty cool. Oh, a witness. Witness to fitness. Where have they gone? Where's this witness? Over there? I reckon that's him. Right, I'm just going to loot everyone and then get out of here.
Step.
No, didn't want to get on there. Wanted to loot. Seems to have looted that guy already. Go on then. Go on, Roche. Roche? Renaissance. Let's carry on to this fence, which is this way. Come on.
Yep.
We've also got a nice perfect deer pelt rotting on the back of here. I think it should be okay for a while. Okay, so Laidlaw, an illiterate thief, assaulted a deputy. What I was saying before, that they all seem to have a decent story attached to them. So let's find out what this one is. So it should be in here somewhere. Ah, I've been here before. I think this may be the area where I found the puma as well. Ah, and this area here is an old slave catcher. There's a little prison in there.
Hello? Laidlaw?
Whoa, Jesus. Come on, get your gun out. Ah, he got me. Come on, he's got that gun off as well. Oh, I'm swinging for the fences. He's handy.
Next time, avoid me.
Right, let's pick up my guns. And then let's loot him. But
Where the hell are you going?
there's a guy on foot.
Get up.
And I don't want to lose him. Ah, yes, he's in here. He's hiding in the tobacco, or whatever this is, cotton. Now, on horseback, I wonder whether this has been designed for me to look on horseback, because I can see everything.
Really? Hey, where are you? Shit! Hey, I was thinking about giving up on
Whoa.
you before you threw that. I'm taking you in for sure. Shut it.
Oh, tragic. Tragic mistake. Right, let's try.
Hello? Laidlaw? It's a bounty hunter, run!
Okay, did it a little bit better last time. And I'm going to take this guy on foot now. There, I can see him running. I think because I was so long trying to beat up that guy in the last bit, I missed this section. So I think it kind of next to the scarecrow, that's when it sort of triggered.
Really? Hey, where are you? Hey, I was thinking about giving up on you before you threw that.
Right, ready for this one.
You in for sure. Get to buggery.
Get to buggery. Hey, Tiamat. So, one-eyed Laidlaw.
Off me, you bastard! Get off! Let's see.
Get off, he's
Get out
Scottish.
those charges.
He is Scottish.
This is very kind of you. Damn ye!
Right, Mucky boy. Renaissance.
Okay. The sheriff of Rhodes is waiting. Okay, girl.
Tying you miserable bastard. I've tied laundry tighter. You're lucky I haven't slipped out of this rope and slit your damn throat. Some kind of bounty hunter you are. I've met tougher lassies in a schoolyard. Got caught by a bounty man with half a head, so I did.
His Scottish accent's as questionable as mine.
What a piss poor bounty hunter you are.
It's not
Just
piss,
the
it's pus.
bloody worst.
Passport.
Absolutely terrible, man. It's embarrassing getting caught by you. You
Embarrassing.
little ballbag. You dribble of pish. You monkey's arse.
Yeah, he's not treating the vowels very Scottishly.
So tell me, you like pornography, lad? You know, exotic stuff.
Okay, almost there. I can deal with you.
Oh, about time.
So there wasn't a huge story attached to that. It was just two guys hiding out.
Are we there yet? How long's this blooming taking you? Send your horse to a knacker's yard when we're done, 'cause the old nag's past it.
He's just busting
Good
up
for
balls the
glue,
whole way.
and no much else. And it smells of arse back here.
You're on a rotting pelt there, my friend. Okay, well, $35 is ours.
Come on, girl.
Oh, come on. Wrong button.
Come on.
You're just the worst.
So I don't know how many bounties we've done, but I feel like there's a lot. I reckon it's 10 or more.
Here's your Scotsman. Nearly torched me, but I got him.
Oh, dear Mr. Laidlaw. That is gonna count against you. Cell's there for him.
I'll have none of it. I came peacefully.
Well, like hell you did.
I wonder if he's got anything else to say. He's just going to be more belligerent. Yeah.
I'll get ye.
Bounty's the same whether you was nearly inflamed or not, I'm afraid.
I'll take it, if you'll...
I didn't do nothing to that man.
I doubt you'll find too many more posters going up in the station house, sir. Reckon Rhodes has reached the end of that long road to respectability. Finally.
Hey, from one Scot to another, show me clemency.
You, sir, are a disgrace to all humanity.
Cool, so I think he's saying that don't expect too many more bounties, if any. So maybe we have finished. Maybe we finished that. Okay. Well, I'm going to read a paper. I want to see what's going on. So Sandony Times 48. Is that the one? Ah, shootout at the trolley station. So, dozens dead. Thieves escape on trolley. Thieves in the midst of robbing the Sandony trolley station were surprised by police and a vicious gun battle ensued across large tracts of the city. Shots rang out for a considerable period and residents fled the area, their options limited by the bravery of our police officers. The robbers managed to hijack a trolley and head out into the streets of Sandony, striking fear into the streetgoers and shattering windows and personal property as they exchanged gunfire with the law. The trolley eventually crashed in a grand spectacle, but the culprits shot their way through a garrison of law enforcement and fled on a police wagon. The horror that was unleashed stretched throughout the city, with citizens aghast at the trail of destruction. Special meeting been called to seek a remedy to what would be called a wave of crime in what is normally a relatively peaceful city. Well, undoubtedly that will involve the Pinkertons, possibly call for the army.
I'm looking for my mate Gavin.
Oh, Gavin's back. Gavin's mate's back.
Somebody help me.
I was told that perhaps it might be a good idea to rob him.
I've lost my friend. Somebody help me, please.
So I'm going to... Okay, there's a witness. Let's loot. And a letter from Nigel to Tom. Okay, we'll carry on with that in a minute. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Don't want to die, don't want to die. that bounty won't be too big because we were incognito. There we go. Oh, we're heading out of town. Well, let's head down towards the camp. We can spin round this way. I think they've lost the scent. That's good. And we'll read what Gavin has to say in a minute. Not Gavin, but his friend. And we'll we'll finish the rest of the newspaper. There we go.
Whoa.
Let's do it here where things look good. Okay, first let's read Gavin's mates. From Nigel to Nigel from Tom, a letter of a friend in Berkshire. Dear Nigel, I was happy to hear from you. I cannot believe it, mate. My two friends, you and Gavin, boys I grew up with, now real rich and successful cowboys in America. That's incredible news. Well done, mate. Seriously, well done. I knew you and Gavin would find success over there. I mean, it stands to reason. A pair of boys from little old Maidenhead, Berkshire, now successful over in America. I might come and join you myself. Now that you two have done so well, both of you rich and living in big mansions with servants and all them cattle, I remember when the height of your ambition was pretending you were a Londoner and seeing if you fooled those Scotch boys we met up by the barracks. Funny thing is, Gavin never mentioned none of this in his letter, but he always was a bit of a quiet one, and I reckon you wrote after he did. Either way, I am made up for the pair of you. Made up, cowboys, millionaires, we miss you. Especially your mum, since your dad passed on. But she told me she was so proud of you. Even Gavin's ma was happy. She said her usual piece about not thinking you had it in you, but she had smiled and said she knew her boy would see sense or make sense of something eventually. Berkshire forever. Your pal Tom. P.S. I saw that bloke, Brian Gold, the other day in the market. He said some real odd things about you, which I said weren't true. Bet he's laughing on the other side of his face now. Well, he looks like a bit of a confidence man, doesn't he? Because he pretends to be a Londoner, and Brian Gold's got bad things to say about him, and he's pretending to be a rich cowboy, and Gavin's none too special. Very strange. I can't make head and the tail of that. That is interesting. Yeah, we were going to read finish the newspaper, weren't we? There we go, documents. So the new fashionable gaiety. Garden parties and readings of Evelyn Miller. American high society thrives on spectacle, and there is no bigger trend than the dinner dances, musicals and garden parties attended by the elites of the era than that of the writings of Evelyn Miller. His musings on nature, simplicity and the rights of savages are all the topics of conversation over luncheon or mild tea. So, Evelyn Miller is very respected by Dutch, but Evelyn Miller seems to be sort of left-leaning, believes in equality and the rights of man, and he's on the side of the Native Americans. So we'll hear more about that later, I think. In some circles, they seem to infer that the thoughts of Mr. Miller become social law. Indeed, Mr. Miller spends plenty of time in the social strata, where he's a topic of conversation. He's often seen at garden party, and was present at the former mayor ball in Saint Denis this year, while visiting the region on a sabbatical. Well, it's surely delightful social life discussing philosophy while watching regattas or in mansions with fashionable people. It is this newspaper's opinion that the heart of Mr. Miller's writing is a basic disdain for others, who due to social position have not achieved his level of enlightenment. He, like others of his kind, is a dandy and fraud masquerading as a man of nature and the arts. We as a people could do better than to worship this false idol. Well, this is obviously a right-leaning paper, and that guy, I can't remember his name, is the start of it, so it's just, this is obviously a hack's opinion, or the paper's politics coming through here. The Indian trouble. Indian discontent has taken many forms, and many say it's poised to boil over more and more. The ungrateful Indian can wax poetic about a time when all land was his, and grumble about his limited quarters, confines, reservations, all he wants, but the facts are the facts. The United States of America has been particularly generous to the red man. They repeatedly claim mistreatment. However, there is nothing preventing any citizen of the United States from leaving, and so too should the red man consider leaving for Europe or Canada or more likely Mexico, which does not impose tax or laws. Currently, most full-blooded Indians are quite content to accept the very generous allowance given them by the US government, yet there are still some tribes who prefer conflict as their warring nature cannot leave their system. Take, for instance, in our region the Wapiti reservations in the Grizzlies, where tensions with the army regiment stationed at nearby Fort Wallace are growing. We're going to bump into this later. Some fear an all-out return to the bloody days of the Indian Wars. Colonel Henry Favors, officer in command of the local regiment, has sent a dispatch to Washington warning of a possible return to armed hostilities as the Indians have failed to abide by treaties that we signed in good faith. Indians claim that the army is withholding supplies and medicine, and the sickness is rife, all of which are falsehoods meant to further hostilities. We will stay with this story as it unfolds. The sugar boom! Yes. The industrial titan Cornwall stood next to a ship unloading Cuban sugar from the island of Guam and hailed a new era of cooperation between the two countries. After making 2 trips to the region to tour sugar plantations and signing an exclusive purchase order with the governor of Guam, imports are on the rise, and Cornwall has called local governor Alberto Fusar a great friend of America. Well, he's been bought. However, the boom is undercutting the US sugar industry and resulting in the loss of American jobs. Detractors call Fusar a controversial figure who is flamboyant at times and cruel at others, and as Guam under quasi-military rule. Security forces reportedly feared across the island, with plantation workers often working 14-hour shifts to keep up. We're going to uncover that disdain as well later. Gang hideout discovered at Clemens Point, believed to be Vandalin gang, which was deserted only days before. Well, we were kind of pushed out by the Pinkertons, weren't we? Law agents and others on the trail of Vandalin gangs, they have discovered the remains of a camp that no doubt served as their base of operations as the gang robbed, terrorised and killed citizens across the Scarlet Meadow area recently. The rather large area is well organised, and based on the footprint of the operation, it appears that more people are involved in the thieving organisation than officials pursuing the gang originally thought. Well, they know that now. The Vandalin gang is wanted for a string of robberies and murders, most notably the Blackwater boat heist with $150,000 was stolen. Ranchers in the area report missing livestock, and one man, Thaddeus Rivington, reported to police that his teenage daughter has disappeared and joined the gang, which he says serves as the only explanation of why she wouldn't want to finish the process of discernment and joining a local convent. Well, I don't know who that is. I wonder if Thaddeus Rivington, either that's one of the girls, or Thaddeus Rivington has blamed the disappearance of his daughter on the gang. Conveniently. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? An interesting turn of events. I hope we bump into him. Ranchers in the area. No. I just wonder where that is. Not sure. Mayor's Gala was grand. The annual High Society Gala thrown by Saint-Denis Lemieux at his mansion this year went late into the night, champagne flowing. There was Hobart Crawley, there was the banker Gilbert Knightley, and the proprietor of the Saint-Denis Times. Here we go. This paper, Hector Fellows. Also somewhat controversially in attendance was Angelo Bonte, a benefactor of the city, Saint-Denis, but also believed to have some Sainsbury business interests. There was magnificent shower of meteors. We bumped into this meteor. There was this great disappointment felt last year when the predicted meteor shower did not appear. Astronomers the world over wondered if the shower had been given up or lost, merely delayed a year. However, amateur astronomers have been sending in dispatches regarding sightings of meteor showers near an Oak Ridge in New Hanover. We've seen it. So these spaces particularly intersect with the Earth, combusting into brilliant showers of light and are thought to be residual debris from the system that produced the massive meteor that recently fell and created a sizable crater in the area. Chicago Negroes hold anti-lynching service. Protest against lynching of popular reverend in Georgia. The body of Reverend Benson Floyd, the man who was implicated in the Chandler murder, was found hanging from a branch of a persimmon tree in a small hamlet in Georgia. Despite many protests of his innocence by his employer and white members of the community, a mob convicted him by roadside here and strung him up. Floyd has been implicated by another Negro, Otto Luther, who was hanged in the Chandler murder, and his final confession said it was the preacher who paid him to murder him. So that's kind of just sort of nationwide. That didn't happen in any areas we were in. Stroll by the theatre Rallure, as it's hard to miss the gay spectacular that transpires inside. Indeed, you can hear it spilling out into the street. Master of Ceremonies, Abington, has brought a divine spectacle to Saint Denis. Okay, well, I don't think we've been there yet. Ah, yes, Lubeur, assistant, has been missing. His assistant's missing for several weeks. Jean-Marc must now be presumed dead. So he worked with the mayor to defeat organised crime. Mercy was heading up the mayor's programme of cultural enrichment and democratisation involving the art collection of Saint Denis Gallery, which is beginning to gain national recognition following its endorsement, which we helped with. The mayor's vowed to press on with cultural programmes in honour of him. Calloway dead. When the smoke cleared at Brandywine Drop, the score was settled and the two legendary gunslingers, so it was blamed on them both killing each other, which is interesting. But Calloway killed the marshal, and then we killed Calloway. And that's Jeremy Gill. Okay, we're all caught up. We are all caught up. We can probably take this off now, can't we? Right. Onwards down to the camp, which we haven't been to for a long time. We've not spent much time in the camp at all. We've probably missed loads of conversations, lots of nice things we can understand about our gang members. So let's reconnect with those dudes while we can. Coming back into the camp now.
Arthur, dumbass.
Oh, that's unkind. So Sadie's on watch. Got Karen on watch too.
My lady.
Oh, she's not very talkative today.
Everything okay?
I guess. Bored.
Oh, she wasn't on watch, she was just hanging around. She doesn't look pissed, and usually, whenever we see her, she's drunk. She's lost her...
Arthur, come up here.
Yeah, I can do that. She's lost her kind of... a man in the camp, Sean.
You okay?
Don't know how serious that was.
You been bringing in money?
Of course I have.
We could do with topping things up as well. Maybe we
Come
can
here,
hand in some
Arthur.
meat.
Oh, hi, Bill.
Arthur, come up here.
Bring
I
me
will do in a
something
minute.
soon if you can, Arthur. Yeah, I will. Don't you overcook this now, Pearson.
I'm going to keep the deal about pelt for now.
This should be some real good
job,
eating.
Mr. Morgan.
You might want to wash off that blood sometime soon.
Okay, we've got a... Micah's got sort of a coach job going on.
Javier. You ever miss home?
Sure. All the time.
Is that food nearly ready? Believe me, you'll be the
Study a chicken. There we go. We've added that to the compendium.
You okay? I thought we were safe here. Never make that mistake. Okay, I'll catch you later then.
Like some of that
Well, as
stew.
you were.
Yeah, we could definitely do with topping those cores up. Right, so after we've had a little chat with people, we're going to go and see Micah and do do this coach mission. Maybe we'll get to understand Micah a little bit more as well.
Hey, get up.
What?
Don't want to play dominoes. Lenny, who's instrumental in getting us out of Saint Denis.
Hello, Arthur.
Hey. That ambition will see you far.
Thanks, Arthur.
Just keep a calm head on your shoulders.
All right, Arthur.
So Lenny was worried about Dutch knowing his true value, but in recent times Dutch has been quite satisfied with Lenny and imparted the words and encouragement to match his satisfaction. So Lenny's long earned his place in this gang with his contributions. Other people don't. Bill's okay. Uncle's a waste of space. Pearson's invaluable. Mike is a pain in the arse, but Dutch values him greatly. The girls do their bit. Susan Grimshaw, she's the kind of linchpin of the whole camp system. Who's that over there?
In a swamp.
Yeah,
It's like hell on earth.
it beats freezing to death.
In the south, in a swamp. This is not for me.
Nor me, but we're alive.
Well, Sean's not. Jenny, Mac, Davy.
Folks always die, Karen. You and me will die. Trick is to enjoy it while you're alive.
That's the trick of it. Well, I haven't mastered that bit.
You have more fun than anyone.
Do I? Maybe I do.
Dissatisfaction. Oh! Chesting me out the way.
You okay?
Yes. Just thinking about Kieran. Guess he was always living on borrowed time.
Maybe. Well, I should get back to it.
Okay.
So yeah, Kieran's been added to that list, although some don't believe he was part of everything.
Mr. Strauss?
Back at them, Mr. Morgan. Good to see.
I'll live.
But he was in charge of the horses and taking care of them, so he was a valuable member.
Do you hear me? Shower's up.
Okay, Micah. I'm loath to, but let's spend some time together, mate.
What do you want?
Always full of sunshine, ain't you? Old Misery Guts Morgan.
What do you want, Micah?
Well, I want a friend, Arthur. I want hope. I want tomorrow to mean more than today. I want this whole damn shit show to have some kind of meaning I haven't understood. But I ain't holding my breath.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
So, instead of that, how about you and me go and redistribute some property?
Redistribute?
Yep. From the Bowles Overland Stagecoach Company into our pockets.
And you'll fight this time?
I always fight.
No, you always talk. But with coaches, guns are more significant than words.
Oh, I'm fine with both, friend.
Yeah. Come on, then.
You think we need an extra gun?
Probably a good idea.
Bill, come on. What are we doing? Coach, stick up.
Well, excellent. I'm in.
Micah and Bill? This is a death sentence.
There's a good spot where we can hit it as it comes over the river into the swamps north of here.
You got an actual plan this time?
I got 3 sticks of dynamite, I got 2 pistols, I got you and Bill. That count as a plan?
Not really. Well, let's go.
I'm joking.
So, who told you about this? Please tell me it wasn't an O'Driscoll this time.
Nope, a man on the inside at Bowles Overland. You can keep your funny little station friend in Rhodes. I go right to the source. Why did he tip you off? Charm, Bill. Not something you can learn, I regret to inform you.
Very true. You're proof of that.
Amusing. charm and a little money.
Right.
Which I recovered the next day when he met with a tragic boating accident. See, I don't like leaving trails, unlike the rest of you.
What do you mean by that?
We keep leading trouble right to us. We're carrying too much dead weight. We need to be leaner so we can move faster, quieter. I prefer a tight crew. Just 5 or 6 strong gunmen.
Well, nobody's stopping you. There's a whole world out there. Go find the strong men you want and leave.
Hey, I like you boys. And with the price on our heads, we are wedded in this chaos, for better or for worse at this point. It would be a coward's move to bail on Dutch now. Not like John did. Heard about him disappearing on you fellers. For a year, wasn't it?
Something like that.
I don't trust him. I've been talking to Dutch. Feels to me like he's turned, challenging every move Dutch makes. I know you have your doubts about him too, Morgan.
No, I got no doubts about John. I've known him for 15 years.
Well, if we really are gonna escape somewhere like me and Dutch have been talking about, let's cut across here, it'll be quicker. We're gonna need to cut some loose. From what Dutch says, the coffers are looking pretty good again. We could almost leave now, if we chopped half the dead wood.
We ain't doing that.
I mean, why the hell do we need a gaggle of girls who won't even fuck you if you put a gun to their head?
I'm sure you've tried.
Is it too much to ask, considering they get a piece of every damn dollar I bring in?
Everyone does their share. I don't see you lifting a finger around camp.
Swanson does his share. Molly, come on.
No, that's different.
See, this is what I mean. I've always liked Abigail, though. That's my kind of girl. Sully, but strong.
Well, I don't get the sense the feeling is mutual.
You just don't understand women, Morgan. Okay, here we are.
Man, that was telling, wasn't
I'll
it?
get the explosives planted. Coach should be coming through any
Lots to
minute
talk about
now.
there after this happens. Okay.
I'll set them in the road over here so we can blow it as it comes over the bridge. Got some good cover over here. You hide behind this tree to my left, Morgan. Williamson, you take the other side.
Let's concentrate on this job first, and then we'll talk about this rat.
Try to stay out of sight. We don't want to spook them.
Okay, where's Bill? Bill's there. What have we got? Should we take the... Let's take the repeater. Here he comes.
Here they come. You gonna shoot the charges, Morgan? About time you did something.
Shoot the dynamite as the coach rolls over it.
Let's go!
Got him. Right, where's the other guys? Over here. Oh, that's Micah. There we go.
I'm putting you in the fire.
Some more guys over here, and I've got no...
Shit!
no juice left. Is that it?
Fellas, suit, Morgan.
Why me?
Because I got the lead on this. And Williamson's a half-wit. Hey! I'm joking, Bill. How much we get, cowpoke?
Enough. Here.
Thank you kindly.
Thank you.
Maybe I had you wrong, Arthur. Maybe you can win as well as fight. Or maybe you was lucky.
We'll see, I guess, how lucky any of us is.
Exactly. All right, better get out of here. Split up, I reckon.
Okay, we've got to get out of here. We could loot some bodies, but eventually I think we might get rumbled. So we'll do that until we can get away with it. And while we're doing that, we'll talk about the transparency of Micah. So he's railing against John for leaving, and that happened a long time ago, and that was nothing to do with the heat on them, because the heat wasn't much at that point, and he's there now. He's got his family there, and he's kind of redeemed himself in the eyes of Arthur. They're friends again now. He's being responsible. He's contributing to the gang. He's being a good father. There's some lovely moments going on in the camp of Jack and John talking, Abigail talking. They're talking of this new start that they want and require, which is brilliant. But you've got Micah talking in the ear of Dutch, who is unhinged by the whole thing. And you've also, on top of that, Micah is sweet on Abigail, if that's even the right word for it. So poor Abigail's fending off Micah, but not only that, he wants to sort of make the gang more streamlined. He sees the people that contribute not in the crimes but in the upkeep of the camp as dead wood.
Yep.
And that's going into Dutch's ear as well. Everything but his penis is going into Dutch's ear, and making him, he obviously doesn't believe everything that he says, but it's death by 1,000 cuts. It's just constant, subtle kind of breakdown of Dutch's ideals. And to be honest, I think it would happen anyway. But Micah he's the straw that is breaking the camel's back right now. Okay, folks, I think what we'll do, I'm going to make our merry way down to the camp, and we'll go and speak to Dutch, but I think we're going to call this an episode at the moment, and go back to the camp and have a sleep. And then catch us on the flippity gibbet. So thanks, folks. Thanks for watching this episode, and see you on the next one. I have an unlikely dream that one day I shall be able to make this content on a full-time basis as my job, and it's a dream you might be able to help me with. If you enjoy what I do and want to see more of it and contribute to the channel's longevity, then please head over to my Patreon page for details on how you can do just that. Thanks for watching.